Hallelujah. Got a message about a dull axe. Are you a dull axe? Is your axe dull? Seriously though, this is an important message. Might help you guys out. Might even help me. I can be speaking to myself sometimes when I do these. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 10. I'm going to read you guys a couple versions, the KJV and the NIV. Starting with the NIV, Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 10. If the axe is dull and its edge unsharpened, more strength is needed, but skill will bring success. All right. So if the axe is dull and its edge unsharpened, more strength is going to be needed. Now, out of the KJV, Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 10. If the iron be blunt and he do not whet the edge, then must he put to more strength. But wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. But wisdom is profitable to direct. I want to read you guys both these versions because the NIV talking about a dull axe and more strength needed, but the KJV really hits on the importance of wisdom. A lot of times we get to where let me put it this way. You got a pedal bike, it's sitting out in the weather. It's not covered up, not inside the garage, not under a carport. And so rain gets on it, chain gets rusty, sprockets get rusty, maybe even the bearing seize up in the wheel. Well, and so next time you go to ride it, you gotta crank it, and you gotta use more strength because it's all rusty, it's seized up. But there's wisdom, if you move that bicycle into the garage or put a tarp over it, you wouldn't have to use so much strength. Maybe spray some chain lube on it, and you won't have to. It won't be so difficult to ride, to pedal. Similar to a dull axe. If the axe is dull and its edge unsharpened, more strength is needed. So you're using your axe, you splitting some kindling, and when you go too far and you smash it into the concrete, or you're chopping some wood and you hit a rock. You miss and hit a rock, miss and hit it into the dirt. Think about a chainsaw, the blade on chainsaw, you don't keep that blade sharp, it's not going to cut through a log. A chainsaw that's dull, you're going to be sitting there having to rock it back and forth. You see them people, they're rocking it back and forth. Well, it's not supposed to do that. That on that blade, you got your bar and your chain. That chain will spin around and cut as it spins. You won't have to saw it back and forth if you just keep that edge sharp. Many of you guys have heard about old man strength. Well, there's two ways I see it. Maybe you guys got some more ways the way you understand old man strength, but one of the ways of old man strength is just this value, this greater level of strength from just having years and years of experience putting a certain strain on a muscle, and so they pretty much, just years of experience using a muscle, it strengthens it, right? But then there's another level of old man strength where another way you can see old man strength is by wisdom. They may have been having experience, different methods of doing things, and so their old man strength is knowledge, wisdom. knowing a better method to do something that's going to provide different results, more fluent outcome. Ecclesiastes 10, verse 10. If the axe is dull and its edge unsharpened, more strength is needed, but skill will bring success. That's out of the NIV. KJV says that wisdom is profitable to direct. Sometimes just having some wisdom, researching what it is you need to do before you tear into a water heater or try to replace a fridge. Do some research before you go tear something apart. Do that groundwork, lay the foundation. Get an understanding of what it is you're working on, what it is you're dealing with, so that as you tear something apart, you won't have to use so much strength. You'll be able to learn from others and see that this is a more better way to do it. This is a better method that's going to be more profitable. You won't have to put so much strain and wear and tear on your body. Is your axe dull? Keep your axe sharp. Sharpen your axe. Then you won't have to use so much strength. You think about you're changing a water heater, or you got to get to the back of a fridge. Well, if you do some research on how to get to the back of the fridge, change that fitting out, you can spin it. You can spin the fridge without having to tip it over on its side. And when it comes time to put the refrigerator back in place, you're going to have to muscle that thing back up onto its base, rather than if you just research how to change this piece. You may see some old man strength in action, where they show you, look, you just spin the refrigerator a little bit. You don't have to tip it. You don't have to use so much strength. Are you letting your axe get dull? Sharpen your axe. Up here, not a physical axe. Get some research before you start something. It's very helpful to have an understanding of what it is you're working on. Get a understanding, have some wisdom in what it is you're doing. Whatever area it is you're in, or whatever task you're trying to accomplish. Study it a little bit. You may see better methods on how to do it, to where you won't have to use so much strength. Sharpen your axe. Keep your axe sharp. You sharpen your saw, you won't have to use it like a saw. You can let that chain spin and it'll cut for you. Ponder on this. Hope you all have a good day. Make sure we're sharpening our axe and keeping our axe sharp. Bless y'all.